I speak this on behalf of all my forefathers who have left onto me their inheritance.
Why does time make it fade away? Why does time get it lost, got it cast away? Why would I ever care today? Why would I ever choose the forgotten way? Who am I but a lonely soul? Who am I but one man losing control?
The blankness falls on my shoulders going down. The heavy heart of my legends are losing sound. The silent cries of my forefathers. The moment.
Mahalo soy full, ladies and gentlemen. I'm right here in Amanave village. My name is Zaina Noyese and this is Totoe Manatu Part 2. Totoe Manatu is my way of rediscovering the lost histories of my Samoan ancestors. And as always, I begin my journeys in my own backyard. For this episode of Totoe Manatu, I've come to live in the village of Amanave located in the Western District of American Samoa. At first glance, Amanave appears to be a quiet, laid-back place. But I recently discovered that beneath its surface literally lies secrets the world today has yet to know of. This is a journal of my findings thus far. Two days after Christmas Day 2006, my family and I uncovered unknown remains on an area of land my relatives refer to as Totoe of Amanave, which roughly translates as the end of Savai. We reburied the remains thinking they were animal bones. That night, while my family had dinner, the subject was brought to the table. My uncle, Chief Amatafafai Petelo Yese of Amanave, who was also caretaker of the family land, informed us that no animal was buried in the area because every time he dug there, human remains would turn up. Interestingly enough, discussions continued that night, so I asked my uncle whether or not we had family burial sites in the land. He said no because it was too close to the stream of water nearby. My family has no idea what existed there, but they do recall that the land named Totoe of Amanave has some history behind it. So as usual, I was already looking for answers, and the coolest part was my family wanted to join in, so I let them.
Still here, we buried him yesterday.
I returned to recover the remains we found for reference and physical evidence. I asked a local archaeologist if she could come by and identify the remains as being human. She verified that it was.
It's too good to be an animal one, huh?
I wanted to know who the remains belonged to, how old they were, the cause of death, and so forth. But due to the lack of resources here on island, it would take a while. So I was advised to give the remains a Samoan ceremonial cleaning and store them in a safe place until the proper specialists were contacted. When cleaning the bones of ancients, the Samoan people use a ceremonial fabric known as the tapa cloth to wrap the remains. I needed tapa cloth, so I asked my grandmother Faupi Yese if she had any available. Grandma is one of the few remaining artistic weavers of Samoan traditional mats here in the Western District. She keeps her tapa cloth hidden under a collection of her hand-decorated and woven mats, made from the leaves of the pandanus plant, translated in Samoan as fala. When all was said and done, I had about 2 yards of genuine tapa cloth to work with. I alone carried out the task of cleaning the remains at around 5:30 p.m. the 30th of December 2006. It was getting late, but I wanted to have the remains cleaned and wrapped in ceremonial tapa cloth before the next day. While cleaning, the electric power suddenly shuts down and I was left in the dark. But for some reason, it was a full moon out and the moonlight glowed directly over my work. I could clearly see what I was doing, and in no time I had the remains wrapped and soon stored away. Cleaning human remains in the moonlight was an unusual experience for me. You have to understand that with the native Samoan people, there still exists a sense of caution when dealing with anything that is ancient. They believe that a strong spiritual energy surrounds these things. So if handled wrongly, you could be struck down by misfortune or illness. A few days later, I worked at finding more information on the land named Siosavai. I asked my uncle about it, and he told me to first call an aunt of mine who lives in San Francisco, California. He says she was named after the land back in the 1930s. I'm calling to ask you about that interview we talked about.
I called my aunt that day and asked if she could tell me everything she knew about Siosavai. This is a documented recording of that conversation.
Are you ready,
You let
Auntie?
me know.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Tell us everything you know about the Momele Siosavai.
Okay. Lo ulo si savai umalaava moi whaangau. Sa o whanau ia apelila la somalu, tau sanga ia whaiva salau tau tsfulu. Ua fitu tsfulu ono nei o tau sanga. O umatua whanau o tama ese umalaava matua lua longo asi. A o umatua na tau siau. Ma o wola mai ai o moi masisi ai. Ina ua o matua, sa o fesili lo tina o sisi ai. Po o mātou ni savai, ua lai o na whaingoa o si savai. Ba o le a fo ina mafua anga o lo ingoa. Le talia lo tina, o aso ana mua, whawhetau ai tangata o nuu po o tūmalo fo, sa e masifo savai. O whaatutele ina le taua, o tau mawhai tangata e sosora ese ma le motu. A whai e sosora ese le sami i waa. E wha umatia fwoi a wā o loo bawa ai a fwoi e tangata o lisi tu tau. Whai ai tangata e tau tangata puu ia o na pō. O lato eli le ana i lalo sami e sosora ese ai. Malele i loa po o whea o le atau nuu i ai. Se ia o ina ea e i Amanave. O le si ulea o le ana. Na amata mai le ana i savai. A sa ai u i Amanave. O na wha aingoa i lea o le whanua lea o si savai. O le ala whanga lea o le tauso i a amata whai. E o mai nei o loo i ai pēr le ana. Ma e ai aso e ilo ai e one o nea le mutu le ana. O lona winga sa tau nuu mai fo inisi ana pō. O te tala pupu lea. Ua o wha amtalai natu.